Right. So tip number one, this is, sort of goes against the grain of everything that Craig and I try to do with everyone. Because if you've heard any of our stuff, we are big or anti, is it anti-budget? Could you be anti-budget? I don't know. By the way, we don't like the budget word, right? But, we just sort of go there. We feel it's a little too constraining.
You could put
However,
holiday spending. You didn't have to put holiday budget. You could put holiday spending.
yeah, but for this particular situation, for this thing, for the holidays, we're okay with it because it's a finite period of time. It's a
Uh,
limited factor thing that you're dealing with. So the
like an
idea
event
is,
plan.
yeah, well, you got to put some sort of a limit.
Yeah, you have an event. It's a budget for the event, right?
That
Yes.
type of thing, right? So, trying to figure out what that limit is, that's a different conversation. You need to sort of look inside yourself for that and figure out. And one thing with this is don't do this as, hey, well, I'm going to, I'll put the money back in January or February, or I'm going to get a tax refund in March or April, so I'll put it back then.
Hmm.
We know that doesn't happen.
Well, then you get another gift after Christmas, which is a bill.
Well, you have a bill, you've got some debt you got to pay off, but we know that something else comes up, right? We end up using it for something else and we never put the money back and we just carry that debt forward. So the first lesson here is yes, figure out what that limit is going to be and then try to figure out how you're going to stick to it. The budget is one way to do that, but
Mhm.
it is something that definitely needs to be in everybody's mindset as you're going through this, because if you're just winging it as you're spending, how are you getting a handle on that? How are you
Absolutely.
keeping that in some sort of guidelines or, hey, well, I didn't go over crazy. When you wake up January 2nd and go, oh, great, I didn't spend, billions.
Or maybe you did your Christmas club and you already have the money set aside for the holiday. I don't know
So
how many people still do that,
it's a
but
good no, it's a good point by you. There's a flip side to this, right? So everywhere that you look or anywhere that you see will tell you to save money for this,
mhm.
which is what you're talking about, except where it's December 1st. You can't save the money now, right? We're in December. We're spending at this point,
Well,
right?
that's true. You're
We
in
don't,
it. They're planning for
however,
next year.
exactly, we can take that and carry that mindset forward. And maybe for our 2023 budget, we can build in those spending for gifts, holidays, other things that we want to do.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
to me, this is one of those, you're looking for a small target to hit when you're starting to save money on a, and budget that for on a monthly basis. This is a great because everybody spends money in the holidays,
Yes.
right? So you got to get what did I spend last December? And then
Right.
you kind of plan forward. Well, if I put money away every month, it doesn't hit me all in December. So
Correct. Or worse, like we talked about, it doesn't wind up on the credit card waiting to get paid in January, February, or March.
well, it's going to hit you at some point. It's a matter of when, right? So you want to be proactive or reactive. That's the issue. Reactive usually costs more.
Yeah, it costs a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And for us, for Aries, for Craig, for myself, what we try to do for everybody, like we said, is to talk about these, have these conversations about the relationship, about why, what's important, why you're doing something, maybe why you've thought about doing it but haven't done it, or you wanted to do it, not do it. It's funny because I just had this conversation with somebody yesterday where it was we talked about the whole tackling debt thing and going through the different strategies, and they were like, well, yeah, I've sort of done the shotgun approach thing, and I'm like, okay, but you realize that's not working, right? And she's like, yeah, it's not working. I go, okay, so let's change that, let's take a step forward, let's change that. And that's part of what we do. And so, you're free to reach out to us at any time. If you can stop the video, you can shoot that QR code that gets you right to our scheduler. Same thing with the link on the bottom. You can schedule a time. One of us will be available, and you can just have a conversation about what's important to you, because that's really what this is all about, trying to help you have a better relationship with your money.